This might be one of the biggest updates Euro Truck Simulator 2 has ever had, but not because of what was added. It's because of what it quietly replaces. At first glance, Update 1.59 just looks packed. A big map rework, new features, long-requested fixes. It feels like one of those updates where everyone finds something they like, and honestly, it is. But when you sit with it a little longer and start connecting the pieces, it stops feeling like a content drop and starts feeling like a transition, almost like the game is moving into a different phase. Now, if you look at this, the Benelux rework is the obvious centerpiece. Belgium, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, completely rebuilt. And yeah, we've had reworks before, but this one feels different. Not just bigger, but more intentional. Because these areas weren't just outdated, they were foundational, some of the earliest parts of ETS2, which means the way they were originally built influenced everything that came after. Road density, city layouts, scale, detail, even how distances feel when you drive, and now all of that has been replaced. So what this means is, you're not just driving through a prettier version of the same place, you're driving through a redesigned version of how the game itself works in that region. Now, if you actually pay attention while driving, you start to notice small things. The way cities flow into highways, how intersections feel less abrupt, how industrial areas are placed in ways that make more sense. And it's not something you immediately point out, but you feel it. And that's the key. This update isn't trying to impress you in one moment, it's trying to improve every moment. Now, Antwerp. This is one of those additions that might get overlooked at first, but it shouldn't. Because that port, it's not just scenery, it's scale. It gives weight to cargo routes, it makes certain deliveries feel like they actually matter. And then there's Eindhoven with the DAF Trucks facility. And this is where things get interesting. Because this isn't just SCS designing something that looks realistic. This is them working directly with a real manufacturer to recreate something authentic. And this suggests that the line between the game and the real industry is getting thinner. Now, if you zoom out again, you start to see a pattern forming. Reworked regions with higher standards, real-world partnerships becoming more visible, more accurate infrastructure, and a clear effort to make everything feel consistent. So this could mean SCS is slowly standardizing the entire map, not just updating parts of it, but aligning everything to a new level of quality. And if that's true, then older areas across the map are probably next. Now, this is where the update becomes more than just map changes, because alongside all of this, there's a layer of systems being adjusted, quietly, without much attention. Take the Volvo Trucks Experience Center. At first, it feels like a bonus location, something you visit once, maybe twice. But when you think about it, it introduces a completely different type of interaction. You're not delivering, you're not rushing, you're testing, exploring how the truck behaves in controlled conditions. More controlled environments. More scenarios focused on driving itself, not just the job around it. Now, Thermo King. Again, easy to overlook, but it's another step in the same direction. Real-world equipment, recognizable branding, specific models with defined roles. And when you combine that with licensed trucks, real companies, accurate cities, the simulation starts to feel less like a representation and more like a reconstruction. Now here's where it gets even more subtle. Because while all of this is happening, SCS is also reshaping how the player interacts with the game. The UI changes. The root advisor widgets, damage, finances brought back in a cleaner way. The skill system, easier to read, easier to understand. Controller navigation, smoother, and none of these are headline features, but together they remove friction. They make the game easier to exist in. Not easier to play, just easier to stay in. And that's important, because the longer you stay in the world, the more all these other improvements start to matter. Now, Tau to Road. This one almost feels too simple. Press a button, pay a fee, get placed back safely. But if you've ever flipped your truck or got stuck somewhere awkward, you know how disruptive that moment is. It breaks the flow. And what this feature does is protect the flow. So what this means is, SCS is starting to prioritize continuity, keeping you moving, keeping you immersed. Now, the traffic sound rework. This is probably one of the most underrated parts of the update, because it doesn't try to grab your attention. It does the opposite. It fades into the background in a better way. Less aggressive engine noise, more tire sound, more natural variation. And when you're driving, especially over longer distances, it creates a different kind of atmosphere. Quieter, but richer. And when you combine that with improved visuals, better roads, more detailed environments, you start to feel something that wasn't as strong before. Presence. Like you're actually inside the world, not just moving through it. Now, the detours being removed. This might seem like a step back, but honestly, it says more about the future than anything else. Because instead of leaving a system that doesn't work properly, they've decided to pull it out completely, to rebuild it, which means when it comes back, it probably won't look the same. And that fits perfectly with everything else we're seeing. Nothing is being left half-finished anymore. Now, if you step back and look at this entire update as one thing, it's not chaotic, it's not random, it's focused. Everything points in the same direction. Higher quality, better consistency, deeper immersion, smoother experience. And that's why this feels different, because it's not just expanding the game outward, it's refining it inward. And if this continues, if SCS keeps rebuilding, reworking, replacing, refining, then eventually there won't be a clear line between old ETS2 and new ETS2. It will just evolve past it, quietly, update by update. Until one day you look back and realize the game you started playing is not the same one you're playing now. So now the real question isn't just what comes next, it's how far this transformation goes, and whether, at some point, this slow evolution becomes something so big it feels like a completely new game without ever being called one.